My girlfriend texted, "Don't wait for me tonight, I'm with someone better." I replied, "Understood." Then I posted the photos I found of her better option with his wife and kids. Within minutes, my phone exploded as she begged me to delete everything before it reached the wrong eyes. I, 32 male, am a systems architect. My job is to create logical, orderly structures out of chaos. My brain is wired for cause and effect. If this, then that. I never imagined I'd apply this skill set to the smoldering wreckage of my own life. My girlfriend, Clara, 29, and I were together for 4 years, living in the condo I own. I thought our life was a stable system. Looking back, I realize our relationship was an app she was running on my hardware. I provided the stability and resources. She provided the vibrant, public-facing user interface. I thought we were a team. I was just the server room in the basement. The system failure alert came last Thursday at 10 p.m. I was on the couch when my phone lit up. It was a text from Clara. An execution, not a communication. "Clara, don't wait for me tonight. I'm with someone better." That was it. 9 words to end 4 years. Someone better. The phrase was designed to make my mind race through every insecurity. My first instinct was a tidal wave of rage and hurt, but as the minutes passed, something else took over. The systems architect. My emotions receded, replaced by a cold, crystalline clarity. She had defined the new protocol. Brutal, concise, and non-negotiable. Okay. My fingers, steady as a surgeon's, typed a reply. Me, understood. She said she was with someone better. My logical brain needed data. A quick check of her Instagram stories showed 2 clinking champagne flutes at an expensive rooftop bar. The crucial data point was a nearly hidden tag, @Marcus. I tapped the profile. Public. Marcus Thorne, 48M, CEO of a major property development firm. A local big shot whose feed was a curated gallery of success. Scrolling back, I found a family vacation photo. Marcus, a beautiful woman, and 2 teenagers on a yacht. The caption, 20 years with my incredible wife Amelia and our amazing kids. I clicked on Amelia's tag. Her profile was also public, a wholesome feed of family life. Her most recent post was from that very afternoon, a photo of her and Marcus dressed up for a charity gala. He had clearly left his wife at the gala to meet Clara. I saved 3 photos, Marcus and Amelia at the gala, the family shot on the yacht, and a smiling picture of Amelia with her children. I had the data. Clara thought Marcus was an upgrade, but she was operating with an incomplete data set. She'd failed to account for the variables named Amelia, wife of 20 years, and their 2 kids. My next step was logical. A direct response was required, not to her, but to the situation she had created. I still had access to her social media through our shared tablet. I opened her Instagram and composed a new grid post, not a temporary story. I selected the 3 photos I'd saved and arranged them in a carousel. The caption was clean, factual, and devastatingly simple. "So excited to share the news. My new man @Marcus Thorne is absolutely better. Just wanted to take a moment to celebrate his beautiful family. His wife of 20 years, Amelia, @Amelia Thorne, and their wonderful children. Family values, new beginnings, better options." I tagged Marcus, his wife, his company, and his kids' private school. I wanted the notifications to propagate through the entire network. I hit share. For a minute there was silence. Then my phone began to vibrate continuously, a low, angry hum. The screen lit up with her name. I ignored the call. Then the text started, a waterfall of pure panic. "Leo, what did you do? Take it down now." His wife saw it. Oh my God, his wife saw it. "You are ruining my life. Delete the post right now." "Please, Leo, I'm begging you, I'll do anything, just take it down." I watched the messages flood in. She wasn't sorry for cheating, she was sorry she got caught. I picked up my phone, looked at her last desperate message, and typed my reply. Me, understood. Then I blocked her number and powered my phone off. The system was now operating as designed. The bug had been reported, I just had to wait for the crash. Update 1. It's been a week since the post. When you detonate a bomb in someone's life, the shrapnel flies in every direction. The night I made the post, I slept surprisingly well. When I turned my phone back on the next day, it was a war zone of notifications. Clara had deleted the post, but not before it had been screenshotted and shared hundreds of times, going viral in our local online community. The first confrontation came that afternoon, a frantic pounding on my condo door. It was Clara, her face streaked with mascara, with her older sister Chloe standing behind her like a thundercloud. I opened the door but kept the security chain on. "Leo!" Clara shrieked. "Let me in. We need to talk." "There's nothing to talk about, Clara," I said evenly. "You ended things." "You psycho," Chloe spat. "You blew up her entire life over a stupid text." "It wasn't a stupid text," I replied. "It was a statement of fact." I simply added some context to her announcement. "Context," Clara wailed. "You tagged his wife and his kids' school. Amelia Thorne called me at 2 in the morning, screaming. Marcus was fired. His company's board invoked the morals clause in his contract. He lost everything and he blames me." A small dark part of me felt a flicker of satisfaction. The logician in me simply noted the efficient propagation of consequences. "That sounds like a problem for you and Marcus," I said. Clara's tone shifted. "Leo, baby, please. I messed up. It was a terrible mistake. But what you did was so much worse. You have to fix this." "Fix it? The data is already out there, Clara. My things are in there," she suddenly shouted. "My clothes, my laptop, my art." Ah, yes, the art. For her birthday last year, I'd commissioned an expensive, custom triptych from an artist she admired. 3 large panels depicting cities from our relationship. It was her favorite thing to show off. "You can arrange a time to pick up your belongings," I said, my voice hardening. "Send me a text from Chloe's phone. I'll have everything boxed in the entryway. You will not be coming any further into my home." I closed the door on their shouting and slid the deadbolt. My resolve was solid. 2 days later, the police showed up for a wellness check. A concerned friend had called, claiming I was unstable and a danger to myself or others. It was Chloe and Clara's clear handiwork, an attempt to paint me as the villain. I calmly explained the situation, and the officers left, but the humiliation was the point. I filed a report for misuse of emergency services. Then came the financial demands and the smear campaign. Clara, through Chloe, demanded money for her contributions to the household and the first 6 months' rent on a new apartment. She insisted I return the triptych. Simultaneously, mutual friends started texting me, saying I'd gone too far. She was spinning a tale of a momentary lapse met with a psychotic response, conveniently omitting her cold, brutal text. In her mind, I owed her reparations for the life she had torched all on her own. I've spent the week methodically disentangling myself. I changed the locks and boxed up every trace of her. The art is still on my wall, a constant, painful reminder. They've escalated. My next move has to be just as methodical and just as final. Update 2. The escalation I predicted arrived, more conniving than I'd anticipated. They weren't just trying to bully me. They were trying to dismantle my life. The pickup of Clara's things happened last Saturday. Chloe texted, and they arrived with their mother, Eleanor, a woman who always looked at me with faint disapproval. I had every box neatly stacked in the foyer. "Leo, I am so disappointed in you," Eleanor began. "Clara made a foolish girl's mistake. What you did was monstrous." "My actions were a direct consequence of hers," I said, my voice flat. "She terminated our relationship agreement. I'm just executing the final clauses." Clara's eyes were locked on the living room wall behind me. "The triptych," she said, her voice a low demand. "Where is it?" "The triptych is not part of your belongings," I stated. "It was a gift," she shrieked. "You can't keep a gift. That's theft." "A gift is conditional on the sentiment behind it," I countered. "You voided the sentiment. The gift has been deprecated." This was their cue. They tried to push past me into the apartment. I blocked the doorway, braced against the frame. As they shouted and shoved, I calmly took out my phone. "I am now recording this. You are attempting to force your way into my home. The next word you say will be evidence in the restraining order I file on Monday." They froze. The word evidence was the only thing that penetrated their entitlement. They grabbed the boxes and left, but not before Clara gave me a look of pure venom. "You'll regret this, Leo. I'm not done." She was right. On Tuesday, I received an email from my company's HR department. Subject: formal complaint. An anonymous complaint alleged I was using company resources for online harassment and exhibiting unstable behavior. They were trying to get me fired. My boss, a man who values logic, called me in. I walked him through the situation factually, showing him Clara's initial text. I explained that it was a personal vendetta. He listened, sighed, and assured me my job was secure while HR went through the motions. I was safe, but the attempt was a profound violation. They had crossed the final line. That night, I knew what to do about the triptych. Giving it to her was rewarding her behavior. Keeping it was a painful reminder. Destroying it felt too chaotic. I chose a third option, a logical one. I emailed Ben, the artist I'd commissioned the piece from. I explained the circumstances had changed and that I wanted to commission an alteration. The first panel, the city where we met, would remain. A beginning. The second panel, our first vacation, I wanted him to paint over with solid matte black. A void. A null value. The third panel, where I'd told her I loved her, I asked him to paint over with a photorealistic rendering of a dumpster fire. Ben was intrigued by the story and the artistic challenge. I paid his fee, and the next day I drove the panels to his studio. As I left them, I felt a profound sense of release. I wasn't destroying the past, I was editing it, commenting out the corrupted code. A few days later, a cease and desist letter arrived from a lawyer, retained by Marcus Thorne, demanding an apology and a 5-figure sum. My company lawyer glanced at it, chuckled, and said it was a scare tactic. A discovery process would be professional suicide for him, forcing him to testify under oath about the affair. She sent back a razor-sharp response, and we never heard from them again. Clara and her family are silent for now, unaware I have already made my final move. Final update: it's been 7 months since Clara's text. The chaos has subsided, replaced by a quiet, orderly life that is entirely my own. The final act played out not with a bang, but with the cold, satisfying click of a system executing its final command. A few weeks after my last update, the altered triptych was ready. The artist had done a masterful job: the beginning, the void, and the glorious dumpster fire. It was perfect. I hung it back on my wall, no longer a monument to a dead relationship, but a piece of modern art about cause and effect. For a while, things were quiet. I heard through the grapevine that Clara was struggling, couch surfing between family members, her influencer career stalled. Then a message request appeared from a new account. It was her. Clara, Leo, I know you blocked me. I've been doing a lot of thinking. What I did was unforgivable. I was lost, and I threw away the best thing that ever happened to me. I miss you. I didn't reply. A few hours later, another message. Clara, that art you commissioned, it was our story. I know you're angry, but it belongs to us. I would give anything to have it. Just as a memory of the good times. Her angle was clear. She was trying to wheedle her way back to get the one valuable asset she felt she was still owed. The entitlement was still there, just wrapped in fake regret. This was the final input required to close the loop. I didn't reply to her. Instead, I took a high-quality photograph of the altered triptych on my wall. I then went to the website of a well-known local auction house and submitted the piece for their upcoming charity auction. I wrote a detailed but anonymous provenance for it, titled System Update, a Study in Cause and Effect. I set a reasonable starting bid, with 100% of the proceeds to be donated to a local women's shelter, specifically one that helps women and children leaving unstable domestic situations. The irony was a feature, not a bug. The day the auction went live, I finally responded to Clara. I didn't use words. I simply sent her the direct link to the auction listing. Her response, visible in my notification bar, was immediate. Clara, is this a joke? You painted over it? A dumpster fire? Are you insane? Clara, you are selling our memories to the highest bidder? How could you be so cruel? Her mask of remorse disintegrated. She wasn't sad about our memories. She was furious about the monetary value she could no longer access. The auction gained unexpected traction. A popular local art blogger picked up the story, fascinated by the dramatic anonymous backstory. System Update became the talk of the auction. The bidding was fierce. It sold for nearly 3 times the original commission price. A significant sum of money went to a genuinely good cause. The story of her betrayal, immortalized in art, had funded a safe haven for others. It was the most logical, elegant, and just conclusion I could have ever designed. The fallout on her end was catastrophic. Her last play had failed. I heard her relationships with her sister and mother became incredibly strained under the weight of her financial dependency and drama. Last I heard, she was working a low-level admin job and living in a small apartment in a rough part of town. The life she thought she was upgrading to and the comfortable one she threw away were both gone forever. Marcus's divorce was finalized a few months ago. His ex-wife, Amelia, took him to the cleaners, getting the house and a majority of the assets. His reputation is shot. I am at peace. My condo is quiet. I'm seeing someone new, a woman who builds her own systems, who understands that relationships are partnerships, not hosting services. The space on my living room wall is empty, but it feels like an opportunity. Clara called me a robot with no feelings. She was wrong. I felt everything. I just chose to process those feelings into a logical, structured response. She wanted someone better. In the end, I simply gave her a better story. One where she wasn't the protagonist who got away with it, but the antagonist who had to live with the inescapable consequences of her own code.